What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to Bitassist, where, as the name suggests, we're here to assist you in understanding Bitcoin and, of course, altcoins. In today's episode, we're going to look into Decred, otherwise known as decentralized credits, which is arguably the most decentralized project on the market today. But before we get started, though, one big, massive shout out to everyone that's liking, subscribing, and commenting on the Bitassist content. It really is very exciting to watch, and we're very, very grateful. You guys are great. To all that are new, of course, if you want to join the team, go ahead and subscribe now, bottom right hand corner, go ahead and click on that. And of course, if you've enjoyed this content today, do make sure to like it, because it makes it a lot easier for our content to be found on YouTube. And then lastly, before we do get going, if you're looking for inside tips into the cryptocurrency market coming from a brokerage, then do go ahead and join our weekly newsletter. It comes out every Monday. Don't worry, we're not going to spam you or anything like that. It's a short but very informative newsletter every Monday. I'm going to leave the link in the description and in the comments. So do go ahead and subscribe for that. And we'd be happy to bring you that every single week. You'll not be disappointed, trust me. Okay, great. So why Decred then? So we do analysis every single day. Majority of that is done by our analysts. So we came across Decred as a result of our analysis on the first 100 coins in the coin market cap rankings. In 1 month, over the last month, its market cap has gone from 470 million to 725 million, going from position 47th on coin market cap to 29th today. What is great about it, it has a limited circulating supply of 7 million tokens out of 21 million. According to our Sharp ratio, which looks at risk versus return, Decred, the token, has represented the best risk return profile within this last month, giving returns of 59% and a volatility percentage of 28%. The Decred token has been around since roughly January, February of 2016, making it obviously incredibly well established. So yeah, so that's caught our attention, so we wanted to cover it today. So before we go on, I just want to say thank you to this gentleman that has written this article. It looks like it's called Noah. He's gone into some depth on why Decred is important, and of course why it potentially is a long-standing and profitable investment. Before we jump into that, though, let's quickly look at some of the price metrics for Decred. So today it's around $100, down just under 2%, with a total market cap of around 725 million. So pretty well established already, but still, I still think that's pretty undervalued considering its community and, of course, how long it's been on the market. Volume at around 6.3 million, which is healthy. Circulating supply right now 7.1 million out of 21 million. If we look at its ranking, it's now currently ranked at around 29. So not doing too bad, not doing too bad at all. If we just scroll down to some of its price action, you'll see it kind of hit the market in around February of 2016. And as shown, very, very healthy growth. You know, it's not just been parabolic and then straight back down. This looks really quite healthy to me. I like the look of this. If we quickly look at the markets for Decred, I know it's just recently been added a new market on Bittrex, but it isn't actually on Polo yet. What am I saying? On Binance yet. So that could be quite a good sales point right there, considering most coins, when they do list on Binance, they do get a much larger liquidity pool. So right now, being traded on these top 3 exchanges with a total volume today of around 6.3 million. So yeah, that's pretty much Decred in a nutshell. Okay, so before we go on to that article, I just want to quickly take you through, in a nutshell, what it is via their website. And then we can dive a little bit deeper with that article. So if we just go ahead and read this, it says, since 2016, Decred has striven to solve blockchain governance. Our innovative consensus voting model empowers stakeholders and allows for the seamless transition from one set of rules to another. Decentralized decision-making and self-funding have enabled us to build a robust, evolving digital currency free from third-party influence. So that's really, really brilliant. You know, a self-governing cryptocurrency is exactly what we all set out for it to be. But unfortunately, things like Bitcoin they don't necessarily have a decentralized decision-making protocol. So Decred have decided to try change that. Moving on, so it says our modular code base offers unique adaptability and can scale to the latest blockchain technology. Decred's technology enables the world's first successful direct on-chain user-activated consensus vote. This represents a revolutionary approach to stakeholder governance where our community directs the project and makes decisions together. If I understand correctly, Decred are the first and only cryptocurrency at the moment that had an on-chain decision-making or had an on-chain hard fork, which was decided by the community and the governance. If we move on here, it says empowering individuals and groups, and of course companies. We are community-powered. Stakeholders who participate in Decred's decision-making are rewarded for their efforts. Sustainable funding and resilient contractor model allow for anyone to join Decred at any time and engage in its governance. Decred's value is in the people who work on it. Together, we're building the decentralized future we want to see. So I really do, that does stand quite highly for me, is that decentralization was the reason I got into this space in 2013. Obviously, it's not really the most important thing anymore to a lot of people, and I don't look down on that. But I do think if we can have a great cryptocurrency that allows for decentralized decision making and it's fast and works, then it really is a no-brainer. In terms of its operating system, it says Decred is built to last. Our development activity and quality are among the highest in the space. Features of the Decred software include an innovative hybrid proof of work and proof of stake consensus voting system, a censorship-resistant blockchain-anchored public proposal platform, smart contracts that work such as the Lightning Network, cross-chain atomic swaps between different digital currencies, and of course cross-platform wallets for ease of use. So yeah, that's pretty much Decred in a nutshell via their website. I do suggest for you all to pop onto here, go through the white paper if you'd like, or even download their wallet. What I'm going to move on to now is this article that was written by Noah, just written today, which gives you a better understanding of what the community thinks about Decred, and of course why you should probably consider it as a project to potentially take a position in. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is just us doing our due diligence and some research into particular projects and giving you that information. Cool. So why Decred? It says probably the best development team in the blockchain space. They were the original creators of BTC Suite, which is another version of Bitcoin and running a node. It says decentralized governance. DRC holders can vote on the new consensus rules. Unique hybrid implementation of proof of stake and proof of work, which removes most of the weaknesses that both systems have. According to this person who's written this, they will probably have the first team next to Bitcoin to have a functioning implementation of the Lightning Network. From what I understand, that isn't yet working, but if they were to do that, that would be amazing, and just shows you how far ahead they are in terms of development. Okay, so let's move on to further down the article. So it goes on to say what makes Decred special. This is from a post back in 2017. It says a huge part of Decred is solving development funding without doing legally questionable ICOs. Part of that is solved with 10% of the block reward going to the project fund. The other part is solved by having a core development team that is vested in the coin. So keep in mind, from the proof of work and proof of stake consensus algorithm, a small percentage of each block reward goes into like a funding pool. This funding pool is then used to better the network and of course to build new things on the network. But you can only use those funds when you are voted in, or that your proposal is voted in. It goes on to say, originally Decred did an airdrop with some $420,000 worth of coins going to the core developers as compensation for building the Decred system. Another $420,000 worth of coins went to a list of individuals who wanted to join the Decred community after reading JYP's late 2015 article series called Bitcoin's Biggest Challenges. The Decred system was launched shortly thereafter, which I believe was around January-February of 2016. It says Decred's code base is derived from Co's work in Bitcoin Suite, an alternative full node Bitcoin implementation written in Go. Hence, the Decreds shares many of Bitcoin's positive qualities: a fixed monetary supply, deflationary issuance of the coin over time through mining, BIP, 39 wallets. All the major good stuff from Bitcoin is in Decred too. What Decred also does, which I thought was quite cool, is that you're actually a shareholder when you own some Decred, much like Bitcoin. So you're owning some of the actual circulating supply. You're not just being given a utility or speculative utility token. So Decred introduces tickets, which are non-transferable passive income producing crypto assets designed to give DCR stakeholders control over the Decred network. This is not how Bitcoin works. In Bitcoin and most of other proof-of-work coins, the majority of proof-of-work miners have enormous influence over setting the network's direction, while the stakeholders of the coin are left to bicker on the sidelines. This is totally true. When it came to the last hard fork, or not the last one, but the hard fork between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, this was all because of an argument between how to mine this stuff and, of course, a few of the fundamental ideas around Bitcoin. So what's happening in these days is that the miners are actually in control of the network, much like maybe like bankers or central banks are. But then the shareholders that are buying and investing and speculating on these cryptocurrencies have absolutely no say. So this is cool. This is similar to buying any other fixed income investment. The more DCR you own, the more tickets you can buy. The more tickets you buy, the more passive DCR income you stand to gain from your investment, and the bigger you are in the Decred system. There are only about 40,000 tickets in the ticket pool at any given time. Each ticket right now costs around 65 DCR. Right now, the entire ticket pool is worth around $50 million US. So that in itself is quite impressive that there's that much money in that pool. Goes on to say, why should I get involved in Decred? Which is a good question, of course. Bitcoin has clearly proven itself to have a lot of worth, but seems to have enormous problems in terms of moving forward. We've had one split already, Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash, with another one possibly on the horizon this year. Say this pattern of 2 forks into separate projects per year were to happen and keeps occurring. After 3 years, you're at 8 versions of Bitcoin, and after 5 years, you're at 32 different versions of Bitcoin. That doesn't seem sustainable at all. Totally agree on that as well. Of course, we've seen a lot more forks since when this was written, or this particular comment was written. We've got forks coming left, right, and center. Maybe by the year 2025, we may have 300 different types of Bitcoin, and that's just making the pool a little bit less important. It's just, I don't know, giving Bitcoin a bad name as well. But I'm a big Bitcoin evangelist, and I'll continue to hold Bitcoin, but there needs to be some sort of non-centralized governments involved in these coins. So that's another point to keep in mind that Decred does have. So next point is, why is Decred superior and what is the value? Decred decentralized credits is like an improved version of Bitcoin. One of the fundamental problems with Bitcoin is that the miners are 100% in control of the future of the currency. They have all the power, as we've discussed already. Decred uses a unique hybrid proof-of-work, proof-of-stake system where miners and users share power. Okay, so that's really, really good. We want to decentralize this and give power to as many people as possible. This lets all participants in the system participate in a constructive and harmonious way. The biggest feature, though, resulting from this is the voting. Now, of course, voting is very important. It's one of our rights, God-given rights, is to be able to vote to make decisions, let's say, on governments or things like that. And voting on a decentralized network is very important in itself. So it says users vote on future changes to the blockchain and also on how to spend money from the project treasury. Governance may not seem like a big deal, but it's the fundamental thing that decides how a project grows and changes over time. Spot on. It says, besides governance, Decred has a bunch of other bells and whistles, including high proof of stake returns and, of course, the Lightning Network. Features like DCR time that companies are already using commercially, and, of course, they're going to be implementing some privacy features soon. few good points here to why Decred is undervalued right now fundamentally. It says only project with a functional on-chain governance demonstrated the first ever on-chain user activated hard fork. Now that's a big tick in my box. That's a hard thing to achieve, and they've gone there and they've done that. 2, they have a fantastic development team, which we've just touched on earlier on. Ours include the developers of Bitcoin Suite and also the author of Atomic Swap code between Bitcoin and Litecoin. Of course, a unique proof of stake and proof of work system that is extremely resilient to attacks. This consensus system makes a 51% attack extremely difficult. The project is relatively young, it says, at almost 2 years since launch. You know what? In my eyes, that's relatively old, because not a lot of projects actually can hang around for that long, to be fair. So I do think that's also a big tick. It also continues to say it's got a big war chest from the project treasury. We did say that they've got roughly around 50 million in that treasury at the moment, so that's plenty of money to be able to sustain its ecosystem and of course to help it grow. And then a really good point that I like, it's got support from many influential community members, including Charlie Lee and Jimmy Song. You'll know if you watch Consensus 2018 is that Jimmy Song is a very big thought leader, and is all about, you know, Bitcoin and decentralization. And then of course Charlie Lee himself, very well known creator of Litecoin, you know, someone to really look up to. Both of those guys you should look up to. And then lastly, in terms of its distribution, Decred had one of the fairest distributions in the crypto. Decred founders started with 4% of the total supply and airdropped another 4% to community members. The proof of stake share of the block reward is purposefully set low, so the relative power of holders decreases instead of increases over time, which I thought was really cool. Compare this to today, where it seems like 90% of projects are totally pre-mined, with the founders starting with the majority or all of the tokens. Couldn't agree more. A few other noteworthy points is the first cryptocurrency where you actually feel like a stakeholder. This is true because a lot of the time when you buy into a project, you're just buying its utility and its speculative interest. Here you actually are a stakeholder and you have a vote, much like a typical share. Here as well it says willingness to deliver truly decentralized systems and relinquish controls, just pretty much allowing the community to run with it however they please. If we continue, it says development is paid for out of the project treasury. We don't have to rely on donations, nor do we have some sketchy ICO team with 90% of the money that has no incentives to finish or building the project. This is true. A lot of the people that are raising money now in ICOs are doing it because they see an opportunity, and then they just go quiet afterwards. They make this big hoo-ha during the ICO. As soon as they've nicked all your money, they go quiet and trot off into the sunset. It does say here little to no advertising. I don't think that's a great plus, to be fair. Of course, you do want organic traffic, but let's be quite honest, in the industry right now, advertising is essential. Regardless if you want to shill or not, you must advertise. So maybe that's not the greatest plus there. One big plus though is that it's got a great proof of stake rewards. Return on investment is around 20% a year currently, which I think is really, really decent. No master nodes, and with a voting service you don't need to leave a node running 24/7. So that is quite cool. But that return on investment of around 20% a year to stake it sounds really, really decent. I like the sound of that. That was pretty much the end of it. Again, thank you to the gentleman who wrote this. It really did help for me to understand a little bit better without having to, read through the whole paper. I'm really quite interested in this project now because it's, our investment philosophy here at Bitassist is picking cryptos that can stand the test of time. What we mean by that is that, cryptos that could be here in 18 months time to 3 years time, because if they are just going to be here in that period of time, we know we're going to 10x our money at the very, very, very least. And so when it comes to fundamentals, I think Decred is incredibly strong, and I look forward to seeing what else they can achieve. we just kind of look at their community. They've got about 38,000 followers on Twitter. They've got a pretty strong Reddit community as well, roughly around 8,000 subscribers, with always above 1,000 people online at any given time. And that just shows, there's a lot of people interested in this and people that care. Of course, we've already discussed on 1 or 2 points in this article that Decred has a strong development team as well that's going to help to build this ecosystem going forward. Okay, well, that's it for today then, everyone. I hope if you had never heard of Decred before, this kind of helped. And of course can give you a better understanding of it. Remember, not financial advice, so make sure you go check this out yourself before you put any money into it. If I were just to say that I myself am definitely going to consider investing in Decred. I haven't got any money in it yet, so as a disclaimer, this is not me shilling this coin to get more people to use it, even though 500 odd subscribers is not going to make a difference to any market. And then again, guys, if you want some inside information coming from Bitassist and our brokerage, then do join our newsletter. It's going to be down in the description, and I'm going to put it in the comments. Go ahead, click on that, put in your name, put in your email, and we'll send you that once a week on a Monday. Again, if you've enjoyed this, please do give the video a like. It really does help for us to be found on YouTube. And of course, if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, because we really do care about giving back to the community and assisting people to understand the space. We're not here to make money out of YouTube, we're just here to build a community. So join us at Bitassist, and I really look forward to giving you more content in the coming days, weeks, years, and months. I'm Maximilian, your crypto broker. See you guys again soon. Oh yes, enjoy the weekend, ladies and gentlemen.